not only do we have some of the pioneers and major figures of urban literature, street fiction, but we also have those who were there to see the rise of the genre and those who actually participated in the rise of the genre. Let me introduce to you my fabulous panel today. All right, today we have Terrell Blair. He is an industry insider who's been on the scene watching and observing these urban fiction authors and books take flight, from Wahida Clark to Terry Woods to Vicky Stringer. He has been there and he's seen it. He will give us his insight. We have Hakim Hopkins of Black Nobel, Philadelphia's #1 go-to spot for urban fiction and street literature. Also, if you're looking for things from Dr. ZB or any type of health benefits, you need to go to Black Nobel in Philly. And they have been a staple for urban fiction authors to come through there and sell tons of books and get their messaging across. We also have Dashawn Taylor, the ultimate hustler and next level publishing. He not only does he design book covers, he publishes books, and he's also an industry insider who's been on the front line of urban fiction, street literature since day one. So he has the tea. And finally, we have the official queen of street literature, Miss Wahida Clark herself, who's going to give us the full spectrum of her experience through urban fiction and dealing with and going through everything. We're going to talk about it all. So I hope you're excited, because I am, and let's get this going. First, give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Thank you so much. Now, this is the day and age of technology, so I do have questions on my phone. You know, back in the day, we had, cue cards and Post-it notes, so now we have the phone. We're going to kick this off asking Wahida Clark. Wahida, why did you want to do this panel, and why did you choose these men for this discussion? What was the method to the madness?
All right, so welcome everybody to the Culture Lab in the Bronx, which is a division of, or annex of, the HipHop Museum that's being built, and it opens October of next year,
Yes.
I believe. But if you can arrange for a
Spring of
tour.
next year.
Spring of next year, thank you, Buchanan Jr. Spring of next year, if you can arrange for a tour, do so, because it is phenomenal, breathtaking. And big shout out to Adam Silverstein, Rocky Buchanan, Kyle Buchanan of the Hip Hop Museum. Okay, so why this panel? Let's start with my daughter over there, Muqarabun.
Hello.
Muqarabun has been a part of my writing journey since day one. When I was incarcerated, she did my social media back. I don't even think it was called social media back then, because we had MySpace and Facebook. And when Keisha printed my little flyers to send to the inmates in the other prisons, she was a big part of it. But she just seen she's been here the whole time from day one. So who else to moderate but Muqarabun? She's met Terrell. She's met Deshawn. We did book signings together in the park in Harlem Book Fair. Brother Hakim over here, Black Nobel, when I first came home, she was there when he rolled out the red carpet for me. So that is why I have this panel. Terrell, so starting with you, so I'll go down the list. So Terrell Blair of HLM Media. At the time, it was Book Bandits. So he, a hustler like myself, he was interviewing a street lit author. So he's been there from day one. You've seen the ups, downs, the rise of the genre. So I had to have him as proof to back up what I'm saying, this is a real genre, it was a real movement. So next to me here is Brother Dashawn Taylor. I remember doing my first book sign, I don't know if it was my first or second, Source of Knowledge of North. So that's when I first met Deshawn. They had these long tables, had all the authors, me, J.M. Benjamin, Cartel, what's the brother who wrote the book, Dope Dealer? I mean, Quan was there, everybody was at this book sign. It was a whole row, it was Christmas, and they rolled out the red carpet. So that's when I first met Deshawn. Now, we both like marketing. So that's what attracted to Deshawn, because we like to market. We like not just publish a book, we like to market to you. So Deshawn, also Dame Dash is one of his finalists on the Ultimate Hustler. So he lives up to his name. But now, this is a new day. We got AI, we got technology. I created apps, he has apps. So we want to have that discussion about technology and the apps with book publishing. And last but definitely not least, Brother Hakim Hopkins, who is the owner of Black Nobel bookstore. Like what Muqarabun said, a staple in Philadelphia, a staple in the street lit industry, a staple. When we was talking to Big U today, he's a rapper out of Trenton. We said we need somebody to videotape. So he said, "You got Black Nobel in Philly on South Street?" He said, "Yes, sir." So everyone knows about Black Nobel. But when I first came home, Hakim, he rolled out the red carpet. I have my first book signing there, actually. He had the media there, other authors was there, all of this food, my mom was there. I mean, they just rolled out the red carpet because he was grateful. I didn't know that my books was just selling like crazy because I was behind the wall. So Hakim, ever since then, whenever we want to do a book signing, Philadelphia has always been open to the official queen of street literature. So that's why this panel. He's seen it from day one. He's seen it from day one. Terrell has seen it from day one. So that's why I chose this panel. And even the OGs in the industry, when they saw the panel listed, they was hitting me up saying, "That is a dope panel right there." Hey, peace, hi, baby.
Wonderful, thank you for that, Wahida. I'm still trying to hit my boundaries. I'm not normally used to sitting during interviews. I'm always up and talking like I'm Brittany Lake or somebody like that. So I'm trying to adjust to sitting and looking pretty. All right. So why was it important to have this discussion at the Hip Hop Museum? Why? Why here? And why now about street literature? And also, what is the correlation between street literature and hip hop?
You wanted one of them to answer?
Anybody want to take this question?
Go ahead. All right. Let's hear from the OG.
Peace.
Peace.
That's what I consider a bookstore. When I first started a hip hop bookstore, because when I first started, it was only very few fiction or street lit. We would always push the Donald Goins and Chester Himes. There's just so many other old-fashioned street lit books. When Wahida and a few others came out, it was a chance for me to get the books in the hands of the everyday people. Because we, at one time, always had all the brothers from the movement, the sisters from the movement with the dashikis, the kufis, peace, yes, which is what we come up on from back in the 80s, the 90s. But when the street lit came out, it was explosive. It was just like, for me, as a man selling books to, let's say, 80 to 90% women, it was a rush. Because people was rushing in there to get these books at the time that it first hit. And I'm not just a witness, I was there to experience the beginning of something that is dear to me because that sparked off my entrepreneurship. And it's the same. Hip hop is like the news on the street, the information on the street, the information inside of this, whatever it is, information is not, it wasn't just the way you rap, it was the way you look, the way you dance, the way you dress, the way you write. So it's definitely a connection, and I'm honored to be sitting here in the Hip Hop Museum having this historical moment. Based on the culture lab.
Powered by the Hip Hop Museum.
Powered by the Hip Hop Museum, the culture lab. So in the South Bronx, we definitely glad to be here with Deshawn. You know, I haven't seen him in years, and we did some big things together. And we started from here and grew. And I didn't know that everybody was connected. That's what's so beautiful about this panel. I remember this brother being behind the scenes. Wahida, I knew Wahida before I knew Wahida. That's how fast her books were selling out of the bookstore. And Deshawn, I remember literally watching BET and knowing this brother before I met him too, with the Ultimate Hustler. So for all of us to come together as one over 20 plus years ago, up until this moment, this is a part of history, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Nice.
That was powerful. Yes. Man, you know, the amalgamation of hip hop and reading, right? When I embarked on Book Bandits, I was coming from a DVD world. Yeah, I was coming from a DVD world. I was knee deep in interviewing hip hop artists. I had crack DVDs out, the Hood Life DVDs. But what made reading, so I want to stick to reading. Reading for me at the time was imperative and still is imperative. I would sometimes get frustrated because our peoples wasn't reading, right? When street lit hit, right? The fact that I seen my peoples reading for me was a bridge, right? It wasn't about what they were reading, it was the fact that they were reading. So I said to myself, because I'm already in the industry, I'm now looking at these authors, all right, in the light of rappers because they had the appeal. Some of them were larger, right? And still is. Then the rapper from, so me, I'm like, I always wanted to meet a goal. And I said, I'm gonna meet these goals. So I started reaching out to these authors and I'm like, oh man, it's something. Because now, that evolution, right? Because now you want to transition, you always want to pivot, but still remain relevant, but also show, right? Once again, this bridge. And I remember reaching out to Wahida, you know, you know, I got that voice, right? But when I reached out to her, this may be 17 years ago, once again, the bookstores in the South Bronx, we didn't have a lot. We had Books in the Hood on Prospect. So I said, you know what? Let me reach out to some of the rappers, because remember the rappers was writing these books as well, right? So I reached out to Styles P, I brought Malice from the Clips. So they didn't know what to do with the books. If they not hitting Philly, they not hitting, you know what I mean? They not hitting specific places. I said, I'm gonna bring them to the Bronx. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, Wahida came through. Man, she came, oh man, they had the bullhorns, everything. The street team was incredible. Right there near the train station. Listen, I said, you know, we gonna do a book signing. You know, I'm thinking, all right, bro. She done met y'all was powerful. And that right then and there, I knew we had something, right? But the fact that we can increase the levels of reading via hip hop, man, because it was all part of, right? It was all part of that street and it wasn't a one-way street, it was a two-way street, it was a myriad of streets, but it brought you back to reading. So, Wahida, I applaud you and I thank you. And yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, it's definitely only fitting that we actually here at the Culture Lab, because when I look at hip hop, I think everybody in this room embodies hip hop, because hip hop is not just about, you know, rappers, DJs, singers. It's all of us. Like, we all are hip hop. Like, we'll walk into a meeting with a Fortune 500 CEO and we'll sit there and it's like, all right, I hear what you're saying. Where you get that language from? That's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I feel that. That's what's up. That's a go. that's not in the dictionary. You know what I'm saying? That's not what, you know what I'm saying? So it's always gonna come back to hip hop. And when I got the call from Wahida or the DM, because we in 2026, nobody used the phone no more to call. But when I got the DM, like real talk, I felt honored. Like real talk. Like I felt like, you know, I looked up to Wahida, although we all came in kind of like at the same time, but I still see talent, I still see hustle, I still see grind, I still see people that do certain things within this industry that I respect. And I don't care how large that I get, I'm always gonna show that respect because that's what my elders did. You know, they instilled that in me. And I don't care how big you get, I'm still big mama, I'm still big daddy, I'm still big uncle, I'm still big auntie. So I'm always like watching how do what he do. Like first thing I hit him in the DM, like, bruh, I'm not only watching you, bruh, I admire what you're doing. Because first of all, you stayed in the fight. Because Broad and Erie, you ain't say Broad and Erie, you said South Street. But I remember Broad and Erie. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember coming out there. I'm from Trenton. I know Philly. I ain't got chased out of Philly 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? So I first met Hakim. I'm like, all right, we do my book sign. He's like, yeah, you know, set up a table. I'm like, all right, I'm set up inside. I say, nah, bruh. You gotta go out in the street. Yeah. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. In the street, like the real street, like the concrete street. You're like, nah, man, set up right here. I'm telling you, it's a totally different vibe. So to watch Hot go from that to be in the middle of Philly, dominating, not just, I'm just here as a humble spot, he's dominating. He is the beacon of that area. So I definitely respect that. Wahida, I can't keep up with Wahida. You know what I'm saying? She write like 3 books a month. And I'm like, bruh, slow down, making us look crazy bad. You know what I'm saying? And Terrell, I already know what you was doing with the DVDs because that's what I was doing with hip hop. So to have it here, you know, it feels like a full circle moment because I love stories. And I feel like hip hop is based on stories. You listen to the message, listen to Lottie Dottie, the show, everything has a story, and that's what gets us involved in it. Like, it just can't be, oh, this guy's a good lyricist, or this, you know, he makes great beats, or this is a great production company or record label. What's the story? What is the story? And that's what makes the books powerful, because it's like, you brought up a point just now, Hawk, when you said the writing styles. I done read some authors, you know what I'm saying? I done read authors, and it's like, the story's phenomenal, but you sound like a 5th grade teacher. You sound like an English teacher. Then when you read somebody like, wow, Kiki Swinson, or shout out to Quan, which, you know, my personal favorite, Quan, it's like, no, he's talking to you like he in your ear. He like, yo, no, I'm just saying, like, he walked down the street like this, and I'm like, I can feel that. And I feel like that's what hip hop is. Hip hop is not just the person's wearing these clothes, or the person sounds like this, or the girl group sounds like. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel the music? Can you feel the beat? Can you feel the label? Can you feel the video? Can you feel it? And I think that us being here is like, again, a full circle moment, that this is not only a powerful panel, but even the people that's here, that's in the audience too, we're all one. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all part of it, and we're all linked, and that's kind of what my take is.
Thank you very much for that.
I forgot, Deshawn is my homie from Trenton.
Trenton in the building.
Yes, and he will be tomorrow, Saturday, at the Trenton House Music Festival in Mill Hill Park. But real quick, I just want to circle back with what everyone said. I forgot about Hop. The first place we did a book signing wasn't South Street, it was Erie. And
Not just Erie, the original store, because we had a few locations on Erie.
wow,
Yours was
I was at the original one.
with the
Which street was
apartment in the
that?
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yours was at the original,
Oh my
the small,
God.
intimate spot. Yeah.
And how Deshawn said Hawk made him go outside. Hawk he didn't discriminate. I'm a female. Well, he had to get outside. I had to get outside too with my books on the table and hustling books. But yes, hip hop and street lit, it's the same thing. The hip hoppers read street lit, the street lit authors, we listen to hip hop. It's full circle. And with the Hip Hop Museum, big shout out to Maisha Hendricks. She's the daughter of the legendary guitarist Jimi Hendrix and Martha Diaz. They was the one during COVID. I don't even know what was going on, but Wahida said, you need to get your books in the Hip Hop Museum. And Maisha at the time, she was our PR person. And she reached out to the Hip Hop Museum and told them about how our street lit books is hip hop. And it was like, you know what? You're right. So then my books during COVID was inducted, well, not curated into the Hip Hop Museum. So that's how I became a part of the Hip Hop Museum.
Nice.
Say something about Hakim, but,
Hold on,
it'll
you're
come
right.
back. Okay, hold on, okay, cool.
So that leads me to my next segue, street literature, and why the readers are so obsessed with it, the storytelling. These authors are often seen just like celebrities on the street. We went to a book festival recently, thousands of women, books, and they couldn't get enough of books. And there was like these stories. When are you going to write another one? We just read this one you just did, but when are you going to write the next one? So what is it about these Black stories that keep captivating the audience, but not only are they selling, but they don't get the exposure as the mainstream contemporary authors, but they sell the same way? What is it? What can you tell me? Give me a little deep dive into that scenario.
I want to jump in on this only because I absolutely love this conversation. So this is what I believe. Hip hop emerged from the United States, right?
Yeah.
Everybody now, I'm gonna do a global view of hip hop real quick. So when anybody asks who I am, I'm hip hop, number one. I've been listening to hip hop since '83. Keep in mind, I was years old in '83. I was that many years old in '83, but I was listening to hip hop back then. And the one thing that I could tell you, just becoming an artist, becoming a writer, becoming a designer, becoming a publisher, a producer, mainstream doesn't pick up our stories. They pick up watered down versions. They'll tell you the rainbow Disney version of our stories. But when you crack open this book, it's like, nah, that's my uncle. Nah, that's my cousin. Nah, that's my little niece. She act just like that. You're not gonna see your little niece on something like This Is Us. You'll see a version that they'll write. Now keep in mind, it's 19 writers in a room, and they're all creating this imaginary person. But when you go home, you're like, I don't see that person in my house. But then you pick up street lit book, or you pick up urban fiction, or you pick up erotica, you pick up something that we've written, it's like, no. I feel that because that character is me. Now, if you notice, the reason why Power, BMF, all of these shows are taking off is because now you have our hip hop community, our culture now involved and engulfed in the back office of it. Now they're doing the writing, they're doing the producing, they're doing everything on the back end. So now it's like, I can feel that. I know that character. Now I know that, you know what I'm saying? So I think the reason why these books keep flying off the shelf like they do is because people just want to see themselves in the project. They don't want to watch a movie about this fake version. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys see it with AI and things like that. It's like that person looks like a black person, but it doesn't look like a real black person. Like what we know, the soul isn't there. The picture's there, the eyes are there, the lips are there, but where's the soul at? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think one of the reasons why, and that's why we never, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure everybody up here never stopped creating for that point, is that we know that there's a hunger out there, and it will continue to be that while we're here in the U.S., because we're not going to be at the top echelon of showing that they're only going to show you a curated version of who we are. So shout out to the new authors that's coming in. Y'all got a lot of runway in front of you. The United States will not be doing that no time soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think things sell more when it's exclusive. Like, mainstream is mainstream, but one thing about the street literature and books in itself, independent books that are published by people like us, instead of the major book houses, they sell like how Michael Jordan's cologne was only found in Macy's. When something is exclusive, it becomes more important. When it's sprinkled all over, You could get it anywhere. And that only has a limited time on how long it will sell. When you have things that are hard to get, or you can only get it here, or in certain places, it makes people want it more, you know. And it's good to have their products all over the nation and Walmart. But like he said about AI, it still doesn't have that feel. One thing about independent stores and entrepreneurs, they used to call us mom and pop stores, but now times have came where we can be mom and pop. You know what I mean? We can grow and become more grand in entrepreneurship. You don't have to have one source of income. You can have so many because it's just so wide now, where the stores don't really matter. People are on their phone shopping for what they want, what they need. It's like, is this phone listening to me? I was just thinking that I need to go get this, and now it's popping up on my phone. So we're just living in some really, really good times. I used to say strange times. I used to say weird and all this other stuff. But once I started listening to the youth and adapting to what they're doing, that's why the businesses that we have been open so long, because we know it's up and coming. Like, this is really nostalgic today for us all to be sitting here promoting street lit, because I think that at one time, I talked to Wahida. Y'all came down to the store we had in Roosevelt Mall, and we were interviewed about, like, why aren't the books selling? And this was probably over 10 years ago. And it was that transition or that change where people just started doing the Instagram, and you know, it was like
Kindle.
Yes, Kindle was on fire, and we had a nice discussion and conversation about why aren't the books selling anymore. And we went into like how most of the publishers and authors kind of bow down to it. Amazon, you know, it was a big thing with Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Borders, if y'all remember Borders. Borders was like, no, we're going to stick to the traditional, come in and get a book and sit down and read a book. And Barnes and Noble said, no, we're going to team up with Amazon. So Borders went out of business maybe 2 or 3 years later. Just to say that, you know, when it's authentic, it's infinite. And that's what Wahida is, and that's why I'm here today. Because it's like I said, I knew this sister before I knew it. The women was running in my store, reading the book, asking, they asked for part 2 of Thugs and the Women That Love Them for quite a few years. You had them on freeze, and they came in every day asking, when's part 2 coming out? That's when I was like, this is big. So she's number 1 in this realm because she's still going and going and going, because this is her purpose. And when you have that, you're driven. So I just love the fact that you made me a part of it and our brand. And time to catch up.
I wanted to add on that part. And that's what makes the art of hustling, right, unique. He stated something that was key. 10 years ago, a lot of us was in a frenzy, you know, financially, mentally, and spiritually, but you pushed, you continue to push, right? So that balance, that's what weeded out those individuals that were part of a craft, right? If you were an author, you were an author for that minute, for that moment. The minute everything went digital, I don't know what to do. There you go, boys. No, I'm gonna stick to this code that we abide by for 30, 40 years. And when you weren't able to bridge that gap, you fell to the wayside. Look at some of the authors. There was a lot of authors that I was interviewing or, you know, had a game plan for, and some were, man, bro, I can't do it. Financially, I'm old mentally I'm not there, or I don't have that vision. Kept hitting it, right? You kept saying, okay, if we're gonna go against Kendu and everything else, come on, let's fight. I'm not gonna get lazy. And a lot of people, right? It's all people in general, whatever craft that was, it was challenging moments. So the fact that I come in here and I'm like, damn, she still has tangible, like, you know what I mean? This is, I can touch this, man, and people still, because you know it's quick. I'm gonna pull out that phone quick, read the whole book on there. I'll listen to it, right? So I applaud you, and I applaud other authors that can still say, you know what? We're gonna do both. Matter of fact, we're gonna learn it from the essence of it. I remember even when AI hit, like I was, man, I ain't gonna, man, this AI, man, you fighting it. I speaking of Wahida, she got a whole game playing. Wahida had a whole game. Well, Terrell, right? So what we can do, and I'm trying to push my daughter's book, right? What we can do, right? I'm like, I don't know about this AI, right? And that was like 2 years ago.
That's right. Or longer, right?
Right, or even longer, but staying ahead of it, not being afraid, respecting your brand, respecting your hustle. And so for me, this is why we still have the ability to have tangible books, right? And like you said, there's no brick and mortar, there's no mom and pops, right? I have a store. Yes. It was birthed off of books, but we have a myriad of different things in here as of now that will sell as well, you know?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. The movies are in here, or who are watching, let me paint a picture of how street literature was a few years ago. I mean, it's still popping, but there was a time where you can see an author on the street in New York with their books out, selling their books right there with the street vendors, books everywhere. You know, there wasn't enough books to go around. That's how crazy it was. I mean, vendors all down the block, everybody selling books. Then the author show up, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Wahida Clark, she just came." And you have a flux of people just like, "Oh my God, Wahida, I love your books." Let me slow down for a minute. So my mother started writing these books when she was incarcerated. So she built an audience from behind the wall. She had a fan base already. So when she was released and came home and was ready to do her very first book signing, this was the time for her fans to see her in person for the very first time. And they was like, "Oh my God, is that Wahida Clark? I thought you was going to be fat." And you heard that so many times. "I don't know why I thought you was going to be fat, but I love your books. How long you been in jail? What you go to jail for?" It was that type of, while they buying the books, they interrogated her. "Yeah, and your husband, what's going on?" It was so funny that they were just so invested in my mother for these books. And I was like, "Oh, well." And my mom, she swore we wasn't reading, me and my sister. She was like, "You guys, you don't read my material." I said, "Mom, we read your material, so much so that your fans is in our DMs asking us when you gonna write a new book." So it was a blessing. But I say that just to say that these books brought so much joy to people just from reading, just the sheer joy of reading these Black stories, especially the love aspect of the story. I want to get into that. The women at the Black Romance Festival, they were like Trey, Tasha, Kaylin. They naming the characters, and they love that the relationships of these Black men and women are having. They just couldn't get enough of it. So I want to ask you individually, I want to ask all of you, the Black love aspect in these books, do you think is that the main glue that's holding the obsession together for our audience? I mean, because first thing they say is, "Oh, the couples, a lot of couples." They don't say, "Oh, he was selling all these drugs and so-and-so got shot." They say, no, the relationships. That's where they go to first. So I want just to get a little insight from you. Why do you think the audience are so obsessed with these Black love stories? What is it about that in these street lit books? It's not just shoot 'em up, bang, bang. There's a lot of love going on.
Wow. I'm not even sure how to answer that. I just remember Kwame T. Big shout out to Kwame. Big ghostwriter. A lot of books behind water. Look, he's still hustling to this day. Talk about ultimate hustler. Kwame, he's been in prison for how long? Like 20-something years? And every time he calls, he's working. He's writing scripts. He's writing books. He's Wahida, let's do this. Coming up with picture me all of these ideas from behind the wall. But one time we was having a conversation. He said, Wahida, you got this love. You got the thug love. You got that S-H-I-T on rock. You got that on lock. So I thought about it. I was like, wow. And my readers, they do the characters, the relationships. I don't even know what to say about that.
I think it's the main glue that sticks to these books. Because the first thing the customer, the reader will say, I don't care about that character, but Trey and Tasha, that's me. Trey is my man. They actually love the characters like they're real people, you know.
So I came in the game a little different. Again, I'm always surveying the landscape, and I knew I couldn't compete with Urban Books. Carl Weber was putting out a lot of projects then. Of course, Wahida, Dutch was out, Terry Woods was killing it. I think Vicky Stringer was killing it. Nikki was killing it. Nikki Turner was killing it. Yeah. So what I wanted to do with my books, and it's interesting you said that about the love thing. My first fiction book is called Kissed by the Devil, right? And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's my characters are chaotic, they're crazy, but they're all filled with betrayal. So I actually went the opposite way. So it's funny you said that about the relationships, because I couldn't keep up with like the Zanes and all of them making these immaculate, settings and things like that. Now, right before I wrote Kissed by the Devil, I read twice Coldest Winter Ever. Twice, cover to cover, right? Cover to cover, right? Killed it, right? So, and I was always a fan of Sister Soldier before she started writing books, you know what I'm saying, just being a hip hop guy. So when I read it, I was like, all right, my character has to be anti-Winter, right? Winter was cool, she was young, but my character actually has to be anti that, because I couldn't swim upstream fighting against all the monsters that was in the game. So I actually went the opposite way, and all of my, like I said, they're all filled with betrayal. So the things that I get is, oh my God, Heidi just stabbed this dude in the back. So she's the opposite. So those people that's running up saying, oh my God, I love this relationship. You also got a group of people that's like, nah, the minute that I get a little bit of money, I am going to get some get back. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get my get back. And the moniker of the books is called Trust No One. So on the back of my books, it always says trust no one. But I think taking it a little step further than just saying the relationships, I think the personalities of the characters is what really draws them in, right? So I like the love aspect that you're bringing up, but it's also because they have a lot of love in the character. But if your character is true to that, then it exudes through the page and people get attracted to it. So when it comes to like my characters, that's all filled with all this conniving and all this other stuff that's going on, you have a lot of people that feel that way too. That's like, I just got betrayed and I can't wait, like one of my books say, the best way to serve revenge is cold as ice, right? And you got some people that walk around all day like, if I see a parking spot and somebody's trying to get it, I bet you I get it first. You just got those people, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll do some shopping at the supermarket, they'll take their cart, and they like, I'm putting this right behind this guy's car. Don't care. I just don't care. You got some people that just got that in their heart. So unfortunately and fortunately at the same time, it's a wide range of characters, which is a wide range of readers that get attracted to certain things. So I really think it's more the personality of the people that makes them want to pick up the book, and when they read it, it's like, I can identify it. Again, going back to the characters being so in debt and just so like, oh my God, this is a real person, that they actually name them by name, because I know you guys get that all the time. So yes, I just wanted to kind of bring that up to say it's back to personalities.
Understood. And since we're talking to you, you have something to say?
Oh,
I was going to say something short
Go
about
ahead.
why people like love the love parts.
Yes.
you know, because it gives them a chance to experience, you know, if you're a man reading a book, you can see how a woman thinks. Or if you're a woman reading a book, you can see how a man thinks and feels. It's a book that I sell in my stores, the Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man and Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman by Shahrazad Ali. So she was one of the ones that was in that moment with us as what was selling off the shelf. So I think in those parts of the book is masculine and feminine. And it gives you a chance to see both sides if you just don't know. You know, and I think when people read the books, they felt like they was right there. They would come into the store and tell me about them, where I gotta go read. And I'm sitting there like, I know I'm not getting aroused. So it's just like, these books was like better than TV, you know, and I think that the course that we had, because as it's still going, but it was a moment, people would come get 10 books and read them in a week. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I never seen no money like book money. At that moment, that's how I thought, because I always sold the nonfiction, the knowledge, and people would always come in once a week. But the street lit readers, they made us grow so fast in business. Y'all had them. Whatever y'all was doing with the pen, y'all captivated their minds, and it was like entertainment. I had brothers coming up to the store threatening me that their wife is buying too many books from me. You know, it was like, brother, that's haram. Like, you can't be selling to this. You know, Philly is a good Islamic city and community and world. So the brothers was coming at me like, no, don't sell my, and I'm like, brother, she's buying the book. Like, I don't want to sell it because I'm providing a service, but she enjoys it. So I watched it go from that to when I used to ship to the books to the prison to now the brothers is writing street lit. So to watch something that impactful within a 10, 15, 20 year span, because it was about that. I'm talking about when it was explosive, before these TV shows, before IG, before YouTube. This is what we had. You would walk on the train or the bus, and you'll see people stuck like this, standing on the bus stop, just everywhere. So I got like a natural high frequency off of it, where I was running in New York like it was the corner store. So I was coming to New York from Philly maybe 3-4 times a week, and anything in between in New Jersey, and now Baltimore. Where Vicky and I'm from Ohio. I didn't want to just get the book. I wanted to meet who's putting these books out and who's in charge, because I need the best price possible so I can show the sisters some love that's spending $200 a week, because they were spending checks on the books and they didn't mind. It was like feeding them, and I'm just like, I'm glad to be a part. Because we talk about it behind the scenes, but to do it on the camera is very important, because it's history to have it at the Culture Lab and the Hip Hop Museum is really history. So we're going, and we're going to keep going.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Thank
That
you.
is a blessing. And speak on the love aspect. The brothers in behind the wall, when they come home, I remember when I was doing a couple of book signings, and the brothers, we be out there hustling, and they'll walk past and see the banners and everything. They be like, wait a minute. I'm standing there. Man, her books got me through. Where's she at? I said, this is me. So they just look at me the same. I thought expecting something different. But so many of the brothers said that my books took them away, got them through their bids. So that was very interesting to hear that same story over and over and over again.
There's a lot of history in street literature, and I'm so glad that everybody. What can today's independent authors and creators learn from the original street lit movement and vice versa? What can you OGs learn from these youngins? And what can these youngins learn from these OGs?
Respect.
Respect, okay, from the audience. I hear you.
I want to say, and I always look at that bridge. Are the OGs willing, right, to respect the new age author, or vice versa, right? Because there's this, I find this, and I'm just gonna, in the hip hop world, when you're dealing with artists, when you're dealing with the icon, right, artists, some may not want to vibe with youngins or see their perspective, and vice versa. So, are they willing? Are the authors willing to
Bridge that gap.
bridge that gap? So it's very fickle. You know, yesterday, Wahida, she couldn't make it, but we did a hip hop honors, and we had Yo-Yo. We had a slew of different individuals from different genres, but we brought the Crash Crew out, and we brought Fearless 4 out, and we had media outlets that were interviewing, but I had wrote a brief synopsis to each one of the media outlets because they were all young. But when we initially brought it to the table, you know, some people was like, man, nah, really, old heads, man. So now I'm considered part of that old head stuff now, right? So I'm like, what you mean? Right? So, right? But when we got there to see the open dialogue amongst the icons, right? Because now I'll break it down, the icons, the legendaries, and new age. Man, it was amazing. So that's something that I would love to see as authors, you know what I mean? Are they willing to do that? And, you know, just bridging these gaps.
Yes, absolutely. When we went to the Black Romance Book Festival, I didn't know what to expect because, you know, we hadn't been out doing book signings like that anymore. So we went there, we walked through the door. My eyes almost, I was like, oh my gosh, there was so many women. Like Hakim was just saying, they were spending money. They had suitcases. They were spending $200, $300, $400 a pop going to all the tables. I mean, I didn't even have enough books. I didn't know what to expect. It was just so many. Now, I was on a panel discussion. So I went in, the panelist was already up there. Me, I had to sneak in a seat because I had my questions written down. Because she's asked us some in-depth questions, so I wanted to be prepared. So I had to go over them and make sure everything was right. So one of the panelists came down, and she said, you up here with us. So I looked up at Young, I'm the oldest, I'm the OG up here. And it was like, you know, they showed me respect. So all of them, some will show you respect, some won't, and vice versa. The older heads, they ain't trying to hear what the younger authors is saying, and vice versa. But I had my notepad out. Them sisters, they had pre-orders. What they did was do pre-orders and had their fans come out before they dropped the book. So when they came out, I mean, they had long lines because they all was waiting on the pre-orders. And the books, when we first came in here, Wahida had little piles. I said, no, at the Black Romance Festival, the new jacks, they had piles of books.
You learned,
I said, that's what they did. I mean, they had piles of books just sitting on the table, and everybody just lined up. The lines wasn't even moving because they had to talk to everybody. And I'm like, I had never seen that. It was the Harlem Book Fair times 10. It was the Black Business Expo times 10. We're all book readers, and they was all buying books, spending money like it was no tomorrow. So we can definitely learn from the younger G's, and the younger G's can definitely learn from the OGs because they had read our books, they was fans, but we just have to figure out how to bridge that gap.
No, I think you're basically hitting it right on the head because I think everything is a conversation. So again, I'm gonna circle back to hip hop, right? One of the problems of early hip hop, I don't know if you guys remember, in the 80s, everybody was sampling James Brown, right? So James Brown, breakbeats and things like that. And then after a while, some of the artists started pushing back and getting like belligerent with the old artists. Y'all remember Kane's line? Kane was like, "Yo, you gonna be home with arthritis?" Like,
Oh, snap.
yeah, that's Kane. That's Big Daddy Kane. You know, respect Kane. But let's go full circle. Now you got Max B going at Kane. You see what I'm saying? So, but Kane did the same thing when he was at the peak of his powers.
Okay.
So it's a weird conversation. They go that word again, right? Hot, weird. But it does feel weird because we are from different worlds, if that makes sense. Like you said, when you went to the Black Romance Expo, you noticed like, all right, I'm thinking of a way that we did it in the 2000s to 2010. They're thinking about it in the way that they're doing it in 2026. So I'm going to always come to the point where we have to have more conversations. So I'm always like, our company is Next Level Publishing, as you can tell from the hat, but what we do is we also ghostwrite and ghost publish books all the time. So we're talking to authors from everywhere, like, you know, singers and rappers and lawyers. And I mean, it's the conversations just keep going and keep going. It's so amazing to get into their world for a second. Like it could be like a 25-year-old lawyer and they want to do a book and you start talking to them. It's like, what language are you speaking? Like, you know, and I'm a writer and I'm supposed to know all these words, and it's like, you know, it's funny, I always use the term, you know, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. And I don't mind saying that in public because I'm not in your world. So when I talk to younger cats, I do the same thing. I don't try to belittle what they're doing and things like that. The only thing that I would ask from OGs like ourselves and then the young, got to listen. Both sides. Both sides got to listen. So when you hear like something, even like an older cat, I might meet somebody that's older than me, and I'm trying to explain to them about, I had this running joke, and I'm pretty sure you know this, why a writer will come to me and know nothing about publishing. Absolutely nothing. They won't know a thing about publishing. How do I do this? What comes after the word "the"? Do I put a period here? Do I do? By the end of the process, they're telling me how to publish a book. That's how crazy this game is. So I'm like, wait a minute, did you just come to me raw as an egg and you telling me about, but I get it, because once you get a certain amount of knowledge, you feel like now you're above the teacher. And I understand that life is the ultimate teacher, so the only thing that I'm gonna say is, we gotta listen. I don't know if my mic went out. But, yeah. But I would say, yeah, just listen. We gotta listen to both sides, because it's something to learn from either side. And I'm always trying to, I'm on Book Top, and I know why a lot of people do the pre-orders, because they're on Book Top with the suitcases doing that. So they call them hauls and all that stuff. So when they're on TikTok, it's called Book Top. So now they're like, no, I'm at the Black Book Romance Expo, I just did this, and they're broadcasting live from there, so that line is crazy, but the line is also part of the broadcast that they're doing on TikTok. So that's the stuff that I had to learn, because I absolutely hate TikTok. I barely like IG, you know what I'm saying? And I'm never on Facebook, but those are the things that I have to push myself to do. So I learned that going to a young head, like, what am I missing here? Why is all these, you know, festivals and things like that looking crazy online, but then when I get there, it's not really popping like it's supposed to be, and that's because online is the win for them. So I get it, you know what I'm saying?
So before social media, how did authors get their book out?
125th, Broad and Erie, down in DC, sitting in front of the Capitol.
Cowtown.
Big Cowtown, the one in Philly, Tacony, Elizabethtown, like, so pick, and again, I'm not gonna say we did it right, because it was a heavy job. That is the one thing, being an author in the 2000s and 90s, it was a heavy job. You gotta pick up 10 books, and I know Hakim used to kill me. Bring down 2 cases. I'm like, my car is tiny. Like, I don't have a big car, so what am I bringing all this stuff for? But I get it, it was a heavy job. So that's one of the things, to me, that the younger heads got the advantage, because social media is really where it's at, and they make it, they streamline the process. So I gotta give them kudos for that.
Yeah.
And so then, real quick, before you test the hot,
You talk about learning, the old learning from the young learning from the old. So I was like, damn, when I got up on the panel, I had my notes, because the moderator, she gave us all the same questions, but they were very detailed. So she would ask the questions, and there was like, and I was like, get it. I pulled up my notebook and started reading it, and she was like, well, someone is prepared, and the whole audience, they just applauded. So the next time, the young was like, next time I'm gonna have some notes. I said, there's nothing wrong with having any notes.
Bridging that gap, bridging that gap.
Yeah, it was a person I knew that worked for Kathy Hughes, that owned Radio One, and they said, if you have a meeting and you don't have your pen and pad, you get fired on the spot. Yeah, and she runs the biggest radio station for urban music. But I'd just like to say it's nothing new under the sun. It's always, because when we were younger, the elders always told us to pay attention. And it's just the same cycle, the same cycle. So what I started doing is saying, you know, I thought about it, I said, wow, mid-50s, stuff's just not working the same. My mind, my body. To read a book without glasses, I would never get you a whole sentence. So things just start fading away as time goes. So what I seen and what I started doing different is, and I've been doing it, but lately I'm paying attention to the youth instead of me just guiding them, because they have a wide array of information and it's all coming in at once. It's not like us with the years of experience.
Yeah.
I know guys that was just making fun of people and now they're doing $100K a month online for just making fun and being funny. So it's that type of world. So what I want to know is like, how can I be a part of it?
Sure.
So I just stay connected to the youth by doing clips and videos and things like that with them. They already knew us because they grew up in the bookstore. So I'm really in alignment with the younger people through my son. He's very connected. I come into the store sometimes and I'm bringing products. And I'm like, it's like 25-year-olds and 20-year-olds and teenagers in there. I'm like, wow, they looking at albums and vinyl. And I'm like, no, people say, oh yeah, records are coming back in. No, it's thriving.
Yes.
Everything is thriving. So instead of us complaining about like how they need to listen and this and that, they don't have time to listen. They so occupied because of this. Just like us too,
Yes.
but they might be times 10
Yes.
because they're younger. Because it's a bit much. Sometimes I have to say,
Yes.
not today.
Yeah.
Not today. Put it down. Go to the bathroom first. You know what I mean? Don't. Yeah, it's like so many, because I run 4 IG pages and Sage runs TikTok. It's just too much. You can't do everything. And the people that know you, they want you. So it really is a one-on-one type of marketing now. That's what makes the people line up, come visit, and then I'm walking or riding my bike, or I might be on the bus and I'm getting looks like people know me like. That's it. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? I could be in a restaurant anywhere. They're like looking at me and staring at me.
That's him.
You the guy on Instagram. Yeah, so it's already connected. Everybody is one right now.
That is right.
Everybody, from the babies to the elders.
Yeah.
And if you notice, when a new dance come out, everybody's doing it. You know, it's kind of like everybody's copying. That's where the AI.
Copy and paste.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that also goes into today where, AI is taking over. So for you, all of you who've been in the publishing game for quite some time, how has AI influenced your workflow and your work process? Is it a negative or a positive? Because I know that the young ones are using it more than I can think. So how are you guys using AI?
I like to take this moment for a commercial break. We have a book called Black GPT, and we're talking about AI. It's exactly what it sounds like. Black people getting involved with AI. That's the mic now.
What?
Well, I would say this, the double lab. So here's everybody using AI, so let's go into the visuals, with the covers and things like that. All right, so things done changed. Now that everyone's doing AI covers, we used to have graphic designers, Deshawn and myself, and would put in hours and hours and book photo shoots and work with authors and a lot.
How do you feel about it?
Oh man, I love it.
There you go.
I don't even have to call my photographers no more. I can generate my own models now.
And I don't even have to call her no more. I can generate my own covers too. 'Cause I used to have to call her, wait on her. No, I didn't need this, but
It's pros and cons to it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
If you know how to use it and manipulate it, it's a beautiful thing because it cuts your workflow down. You still get beautiful work if you know how to use it. But it's also the cons in it where it's like, the stuff come out tacky. Some of the images are overlaid. If you don't look at your stuff, your characters got 7 fingers and double it. If you're not looking at the work, so you really have to be some type of a designer to put the stuff out there. But me personally, it does help. But now I'm seeing nothing but AI covers, and that's kind of disheartening because it's like the graphic designers are now being left out in some way. But then again, they're not because now the graphic designers are making AI covers. So it goes both ways. What would you say?
I was gonna say I use a graphic designer still to touch up
Right.
my AI generated book covers, a graphic designer like yourself. But even with writing, whereas the editors, the graphic designers are feeling it, the editors are feeling it as well, because I took one of my books, gave it to a real live editor, and I gave it to my AI editor. Both of them came back with errors, different catches. So I'm like, Dad, I gotta use both. And like she said, with AI, you can't just use it and not take a microscope and go over it. The same with writing. If you're gonna use AI to edit, you still have to go back and give it your touch and make sure the AI did it right and make it make sense. So it's a back and forth situation. Any comments, my brother?
Well, being as though I'm old school in an old school place, I don't like it. It's just too much. Like they got one for everything, and some of it is it really looks real. They throw your nervous system on. It's like, did that really happen? But it didn't. So it's a mind game, and it's just we had a chance to. The ladies, y'all remember y'all used to do double dutch, or us being in the park creating games. We had all kind of stuff that we made when we was youth. So I just admire the fact that, we still here to experience what's going on now and still able to carry what we used to and incorporated what's going on. But it's like everything looks the same. Every flyer looks the same. And you guys do a great job with your covers, Wahida and Deshawn, but I've seen stuff that looks realer than real life. That's what it is. It's like anime, or not anime, but illustrated, with a mix of realness. So they did one of me. He did one of me. I had this big mustache like Richard Pryor, and and it was like I'm dark skinned, but I had like freckles. It was me and what I had on that day, but it was like,
That's not me.
Like, taken away from my natural character. Yeah, it's fire how it came out,
Yeah,
but it's not
lack
fire.
soul.
Like you said, it's no soul to it. So,
But I know part of visuals. That's correct. I understand. The
Oh yeah,
visuals,
no, I was gonna help out. That's all I wanted to do.
well,
wanna
let me
be
just
fine
finish up
tuning.
with this.
Be fine tuning.
I'm just giving you my perspective. That's why I still have a bookstore with plenty of people coming in it because they want real tangible stuff. That's why it's a great time. I'm not saying, because at one time I was like, we gotta keep it authentic. That's what I was telling Sage. And it was like, now everybody that comes in the store connects with us, so we couldn't resist it. So it's like, we gotta go with it, but it just does something to what we actually are doing right here today. To me, this is a real social gathering.
Yeah.
Even though we're including Twitch and Instagram and everything else. I love the realness.
Yes.
No, it's true. It's true. And what you're saying. So I'm gonna give you guys my 5-minute elevator pitch. It might be 10 minutes, so just bear with me for a second, right?
It's the book. It's the book.
It's the
Black.
book. No. I'm not, and I'm gonna break it down because I'm gonna tell y'all the story. I got my first. How many people in here got email?
Everybody.
How many people don't have email? Right. So for the people at home, nobody got email. And I'm gonna tell you why this is important. I got my first email account in 1993. First email account. That's when I was my first year of Rutgers at college. First went in there, I was like, they was like, listen, you gotta log in with your email, blah, blah, blah. Now, when I go home for the summer, I'm telling everybody to email me. This is back in Trenton. I'm like, yo, I ain't really have a cell phone back then. Email me. Everybody. What are you talking about? What's an email? Nah, I'm not gonna do no email. Why would I do an email? No, I'm telling you, you have to email me because this is the wave of the future. No. The post office right around the corner. If something's gonna happen, I'm gonna write something and I'm gonna send it to you. I'm telling them in 93, this is going to be obsolete. You need an email. 5 years later, because I was a super senior, I graduated, right? Everybody and their mama had an email by then because AOL was sending CDs to everybody's house. Y'all remember that? It was like America Online. They would not only did they tell people they needed to get online, they had to force people to get online because they're like, listen, your television is going to be digital. Your television is your 3 channels. It's obsolete. It's going out of style. We're going to tell y'all to switch over. So this is what we'll do. We'll email you. We'll send you the code in the disk. Put it inside your computer. But in order to make it work, you needed your email. This is why all this is important. In 93, I'm telling everybody to get an email. 98, you had to get an email. May of 2000, I put out my first hip-hop magazine. It was actually called RealHipHop.com. I like to say that we are the number 4th hip-hop magazine that was online, a .com at the time. It was BET.com, it was 360 Hip-Hop with Russell Simmons. Who said that? Russell Simmons, right? And then it was Real Hip Hop, right? Now we're telling everybody, now that you have your email, you now can go experience hip hop online. Man, I don't got no computer, when I'm gonna do this? Now we did a simple flyer. It was a bookmark flyer. Ironically, I got into the book game. It was a bookmark flyer. I gave it to them and said realhiphop.com on it. People would throw the flyer away. People would hand it back to me. I don't have a computer. I don't have this. We're telling people, you're going to be online. Trust me. Go to the computer store, go to the library, do something, get online. I'm telling you guys, and the same thing that happened with my email. Telling people to email me. It took 5-6 years for people to get on board. Some people go to the website, took them 5-6 years to go to the website, right? Fast forward, during that time, AOL, Yahoo, Google, Amazon, all of these companies were building the infrastructure at the time. We're in 2026. AI has been around for almost 25 years. We're just hearing about it now, but artificial intelligence has been around for a while. So the one thing I just want to break down is the visuals of AI is the problem. They're showing us all the visuals because they're trying to distract us on the other side. So your point is 100% correct. They're showing you all of these bad images. They're showing you all these bad videos. They're showing all this crazy stuff because they need you looking this way while they build the infrastructure of AI. They are building the infrastructure as we speak. That's why I said this conversation is important, and how we quote unquote feel about it is because it's the same feeling in 93. The same feeling. I was there. I came home. Listen, you gotta email me. Nah, I ain't gonna email you. Yo, you gotta go to the website. Now I ain't gonna go to the website. I was one of the first people with Facebook. I think it was like 500 people on Facebook at the time. I know I was one of the first on MySpace because my website, and y'all can check the record, go to realhiphop.com right now. We opened that website on May of 2000. MySpace wasn't even here. I watched MySpace grow. I watched Facebook grow. That's why I'm passionate about AI, because I watched the beginning of all these technologies. And I'm telling y'all, AI is the black savior. Quote me on that. It's the black savior. And I'm gonna tell you why. They have weaponized every single piece of technology against this. Every single piece of technology. I don't care if it's the wheel, if it's fire, if it's electricity, if it's the cotton gin, if it's the stoplight, if it's the Gatling gun, if it's fireworks, which is the gunpowder. All of those texts that came out in the beginning has been weaponized against black people. Not saying that that was the purpose of the beginning of it, but what they are able to do is keep us looking this way while they build up all of these infrastructures to make sure that we're on the outside looking in to make us become consumers once they have the doors set up. So once they got that paywall set up, then we'll walk it back like, all right, we wasn't really listening to your email pitch, but all of us got a Gmail, all of us got a Yahoo, all of us got an AOL, all of us got a Proton Mail. We all have these texts. Now, I would challenge anybody in here to tell me who has a black email service, who has a African American email service, who has an African American infrastructure that only our people can now go there to grow. None of us. And I'm talking about your Magic Johnsons, your LeBron James, your Denzel Washingtons, and I'm not knocking them, I'm just telling them that basically the infrastructure of this country is owned by the very people that don't rock with us. Correct. So with that said, trust me and believe me, the visuals of AI is the trap. They're showing us the garbage. They call it AI slop. Look at that word, AI slop, S-L-O-P. They're showing us all of that garbage to keep us, nah, I want to do that. I can't do that. I can't. The same thing they did with email. No. The post office is going to be here forever. I'm going to always be able to email something. I'm always going to be able to mail something. You can't go to the post office right now. Something's happening. I got to email you. Or I got to send a DM. Like, that's how me and Bob reconnected. It wasn't like I got to go to White House. I got to knock on her door, pray that the family don't knock me off. But you know what I'm saying? What you doing here? But my point of it all is that there's two factions of AI. They're showing you the front end stuff, and I don't want you guys to get too caught up on that because that is the trash. They're showing you all the visual stuff. The true AI tool is the agentic AI. That's what it's called. It's called agentic AI. That's when you can develop strategies. That's when you can develop all types of apps. And I'm not just talking about apps that's just like regular shopping apps and things like that. I'm talking about stuff that literally will streamline your household income, that will streamline your health, that will figure out different things that you can do with a real intelligent being on the other side of the computer. So that's all I kind of want to pitch to you guys is that it's two factions of people that's fighting right now. You got people like myself that's like, no, listen, we can get involved with AI to help. Like we can get involved with AI to help each other, or you can get involved with AI to hurt each other, and it's literally no middle ground. There's no middle ground. There is no gray area. You're either putting out trash to say, you know, you're seeing a baby that's cursing, or they have these one AIs that come out where they show these little boys in dresses and stuff like that. But all they're doing is taking advantage of our nervous system because they know we're going to react. They know we're going to forward it and send it out. You can post something positive on IG and you'll get 2 likes. Post something negative. You'll have people on you, like celebrities and everything. Like, oh, this dude just like this is crazy. That's because they know our nervous system is built to share stuff with each other. So that's what I'm saying. When we get involved on this side, the agentic side, and start building, trust me, you're gonna see a shift. And we're gonna be back here 5 years from now, and I'll be yelling and screaming, like, yo, I told everybody to get on their side, just like I did with email. So that's just my 10-minute elevator.
I'm gonna purchase that book, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna purchase that book. It's all in this book, man.
Absolutely.
Baby, you wrote some of those down?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Agentic AI.
Agentic AI.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got it.
Distractions.
And while you're at it, if you don't like AI slop and you're creating your book covers, go to ChatGPT and go to the plugins and you can download my app called Yo Design Friend, and you can design book covers like this right here, like this right here, and you won't get any design slop. So go to your ChatGPT, the plugin store, and download for free Yo Design Friend, and you can generate beautiful book covers like this.
Man, they show you a bad motherfucker, man.
And speaking of AI, so Deshawn,
Yes.
can AI help independent authors authors compete with the major companies?
So it's funny you should say that, because Next Level Publishing is the first ever AI platform that will help you write, design your cover, do your interior typesetting, and publish your book, all on nextlevelpublishing.com. So that's the part that I didn't tell y'all about.
Well, we have that too.
Yes, yes. But the truth of the matter is, we want you to come to Next Level Publishing, but honestly, we all can do this. So here's the thing to think about. We all have problems, and I don't mean personal problems, stuff that's going on in your house behind closed doors. I'm talking about culturally. We all have health issues, and I'm talking about like we're the last ones to the punch. We are the last. And when I tell you this is the most simplest thing that I've ever was told, the elevator starts with one person, first floor. Everybody's like, yo, get us streaming. We got the vibranium. We're the ones that make stuff hot. So my thing is, come to Next Level Publishing, go to WCP Publishing, go to Black GPT, but honestly, build your own. Because I want to use the designer. I don't want to sit home and do 9,000 covers and all that. Because it's you, I want to support you because I know what this group community economics looks like when it's working. So my thing is, I'm challenging people to build their own, because what's going to happen is just like we did with urban fiction. We watch urban fiction go from 9, 10 authors, and then all of a sudden it's 100,000 authors. But the problem is we didn't come together then, and we need to come together now. Because I think that's one of the biggest things is that Hot saying that we are one, I feel that, bro. Like I feel that, and I'm understanding this whole fourth and fifth dimension thing where it's like, we know the end of the story. We just got to make sure it gets there positively, not just, oh yeah, somebody else won. Somebody else took our culture in one way. Somebody else took our books, which I'm mad at Borders, because they actually took 5,000 books from me. They owe us money, and they closed the doors. Our culture, our writing, our blood, sweat, and tears, and they just took our books and left. There was no, you know what I'm saying, there is no lawsuit, there is no group chat that say, yo, we're gonna get this money back. So I'm saying, I'm challenging everybody else to use AI in a positive way and don't get too caught up in the slop. That's it.
And absolutely, thank you.
Can I just ask one question real quick, Wahida, about AI? Because how is it developed? Like through natural resources?
AI.
Yeah, I read a couple articles listening on NPR about what it takes from Earth to actually make this happen.
No doubt.
And it's affecting the whole planet through from here to the Amazon to all the different natural resources. So I have nothing against it. I just know that it's going to make life a lot faster for the up and coming. Like they're going to be old heads at 40, at 30. You know what I mean? Because life is going to go so fast, and everything's generated and modified from the food to our entertainment. So I just got to get hip. These type of panels will make me more aware. It's been around. The vending machine business that we have called the Essential Box, which is the world's first plant-based vending machine, it has AI. And the reason it has AI is because it's age verification. So if you sell a CBD product or any type of hemp product, you would have to take the picture, and the picture could tell if you're 18 or older. So we had this machine in 2019. I just don't know how all this is happening and being developed. I'm hip, but as far as the visual aid, it looks like everything's the same.
Right.
Yeah, like the creative, like if you put this, and I'm not saying I'm not going to go with the flow, but I'm saying is having those album covers and things like that makes us remember what we felt at that time. That's why we sit in a place like this. Because it's like real. You feel it when you walk in. You feel it in this conversation. AI got people 98 sounding like they 40. It's, you know how even the audio is a little off.
And it's only, but where AI is today, it's gonna be better
Right.
tomorrow. Each day it gets better and better. AI has been around for a long, long time. I don't even know what year it started. But to me, AI leveled the playing field with corporate. So us, we can get in and perform at the same level as corporate America, because with our marketing, our promo, our publishing, you know, say AI stuff, those flyers. When I post a flyer about this event, I got a DM from Deshawn. He was like, that flyer is fire. We did that with AI.
Yeah.
Because you have to learn it and master it. That other flyer that I did, that was AI, but you can't tell because you have to learn how to master it and make it better. I was on a Zoom. It was a bunch of investors. They were trying to put something together for film. So the people was on there. So they sent me one of the producers. Y'all don't even know his name. He was trying to get funding for his film project. So he sent his film deck. So I created a GPT or /app to dissect it and, you know, what's the market potential, what's the income potential, demographic and everything. So he sent his deck. So I put it through my GPT and sent him back the results. Now he didn't know me. So the next day, they called me up and said, Wahida, so-and-so wants you back on the call. He asked only for you. So I get back on the call, and first thing he started doing was explaining why his deck was so weak. I was like, you don't have to explain, you know, we can't outthink AI. So that's a point. It leveled the playing field with the graphics, the promo, how y'all got here. It was from AI. Use AI to create the campaign, use AI to do the ads. It's called vibe coding. We created, how many apps we created? What do your mom do with AI?
Everything. Everything. But it streamlines your business process. So if you're an independent business owner and you don't have any employees, you can use AI for everything, either creating your graphics for your social media, building your website, coming up with a marketing plan for your book, email campaign for your audience. AI can
set contract. You know how we get contracts before? You gotta find a lawyer. I created GPT, go through it, and send it back to lawyers. Be like, well, wait a minute. We're on the same level. We're on the same playing field as the top attorneys, top producers, money managers. Same level. The AI has leveled the playing field.
It's all about how you use it. But the thing is, most people are only using it to generate images or to ask simple questions like, did Michael Jackson die recently? You know? So they're using it for simple things where you can actually say, hey, I want to build a platform just like Netflix. How can I do that? Can I do that right now? And they will say yes. You need to code it, and they'll start building out the code. So why not do what you really want to do?
I needed for my book royalties. We used company after company. They all sucked. I had to create my own royalty system. So now I can compete with them. And my stuff is better than theirs. So I see what they was doing wrong and say mine need to be better. So it just makes
It's about
life
how
better.
you use it. How you use it, it comes into your advantage. But let me bring it back. We are talking about street literature, and we're talking about hip hop, and we're at the Culture Lounge.
Culture Lab.
The Culture Lab, that's correct. So
Powered by the Hip Hop
Yes,
Museum.
powered by the Hip Hop Museum, the Culture Lab. You are here today. Thank you for coming, and thank you for listening to our panelists. But I want to ask everybody on the panel this question. What was it like watching street literature grow from the beginning? In your own personal experiences, what was it like watching street literature grow?
I'll go first because I missed that initial growth because I was incarcerated. I only had what people told me, like my agent, the publicist at the time for Hachette. She said, Wahida girl, you behind that wall, you selling more books than authors out here on the streets. But I had no clue, so I missed that. I missed that whole movement.
I stated, you know, I was doing DVDs at the time in the early 2000s, and I ain't gonna lie, I see business. I see a myriad of authors that, once again, with grassroots, out on the streets, and you know, Hawk said, you know, that book money was, you know, as a hustler in that mind state, you know, it was synonymous to street money. You know what I mean? They were out there doing it, and for me, once again, doing the DVDs, I was like, oh man, I gotta get into this world, and I was able to blend off into that world, and here's my relationships. You know what I mean? So, in the initial stages, it was peaking.
And so much so, the originator, Terry Woods, Dickie Stringer, they all started out the trunk of their cars. The agents start coming in and signing up everybody. It was a lot of money to be made.
So, my introduction to urban fiction was a little different. I'm gonna honestly say that in the beginning, it was a little frustrating, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because as a guy writing books at that time, it wasn't, and again, I always feel like I'm just a smidgen too early and everything. That's why I like to stick around. Like, no, let me just see, like you said about the, you made a good point about the ebooks and how Amazon kind of disrupted a little bit about the bookstores, and we just seen a lot of books. And it was like, I'm not gonna quit writing because of that, because I do see the boat rocking a little bit, but I'm gonna stick around a little bit longer because I know that there's some light on the other side. But in the beginning, I'm gonna tell you why I was a smidgen frustrated. Because I wrote my first book in 2006, a lot of the authors were women. Now, the dudes was out there, but it was a lot of female writers, right? And it was almost 80 to 90% female readers. So coming in as an author with a female on my book, first thing that they would say is, well, where's the author at? And I'm like, no, I'm the author. And I never put my picture on the backs of any of my books because I wanted the book to speak for itself. So my frustration in the beginning was, nah, you didn't write this. And then my name is Deshawn, which is just worse because if you don't see me, you're like, it could be a girl. That could be a girl's name. Like, where's Deshawn at? I'm like, I'm me. And I'm not even joking, a couple of times, this is before social media, it's not like I could pull up my IG page or nothing like that. I had to pull out my ID. Like, no, I'm telling you, like, this is me. I was in Detroit, like, literally, I was in Detroit grinding, rocking out, I forgot the name of the bookstore. What was the one in the mall, Southland Mall? Oh, come on, there was a bookstore there. It was crazy. In Detroit, in Michigan. And so basically that bookstore, in the beginning, I was frustrated, but after I wrote that first book and then the fans came back for the second one, then things got funny. So I want to say that actually taught me a lot because the readers will keep you honest, which is a part that I didn't understand, but until I got to my second, third, fourth book, then I started realizing, like, no. They'll run up on you and ask you, like, yo, I thought you was fat, or I thought you was, like, they'll say that, and in the beginning, I'm so used to, you know, like, nah, we're gonna be polite and cordial, right? They're like, nah, like, where's the author? Like, and it's like, nah, it's me. Like, yo, you lying, yo, this dude over here lying, yo, you know what I'm saying? And like, call me out and all that. It's like, so they'll keep you honest, but then I had to understand.
You know what I mean? So it's the author, right? It's the author that says, you know what? Because there's some authors that relinquish ties with this. Literally. I don't know if it's New Age. I don't know if it's the OGs or authors. But you find your balance. Find your balance. And this is how we can maintain that level of being authentic, right? Because, you know, I'm pretty sure in that 15, 17 years I've known you, there's some authors, and I spoke about that, are not writing a book at all. They done went back to 9 to 5, or they're doing a different type of hustle. You know what I mean? So it's the individuals, it's the author, and whatever craft that may be, right, to find that balance. And it's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'm going to incorporate a little AI in that, right? But if you're going to incorporate the AI in it, learn AI. Don't do surface AI. be involved, but it just find a balance, and it's imperative. So yeah, that's part of that history.
I agree.
And I just want to add about the lawsuit. The lawyers reached out to me. They said, "Wahida, do you know they used 11 of your personal books?" Okay, sorry. They used 11 of your personal books to train the large language model, but they also used about 13 of the books that you published to train the large language model. So they was telling me how much money you got coming if you sign with me.
Yeah, basically.
You know what?
I need that list. I didn't get preview to that list.
1, 2, okay. So yes, so you know what? I just thought about this. Since we in the culture lab, and we're talking about street lit, we're talking about hip hop and preserving things. If there's anybody, any hip hop lovers right now, all the ones who do beatboxing, please write a book on how to beatbox. Dougie Fresh, we lost one of the Fat Boys, Buffy. No book, no guidance on how he did what he did. We lost Biz Markie, no book, no guidance on how he did what he did. We have Rozelle still out there. We have Dougie Fresh. So we need them to write a book so they can preserve this history, so we can have some young beatboxers coming up. You know, beatboxing was the thing back in the day, you know, so we don't want to lose that history. So that was just a sidebar. But back to what we were discussing with, since we're talking about hip hop and we're at the culture lab. So what has street literature contributed to hip hop culture? Can you tell me that? Anybody?
To me, they're one and the same. I keep going back to that. Just like I was watching the interview when it was talking about, what's the brother's name? I can't think about the fashion brother, Gucci.
Dapper Dan?
Dapper Dan, right. So they were saying how the rappers, they would sit outside waiting to see who come out and what style they had on. And that, to me, it just took me back to us writing. Hip hop is street lit is hip hop. Like 50 Cent, he started a whole label on street lit books. Prodigy, a rapper, he wrote a street lit book. Styles P, he wrote a street lit. I should write Styles P. John Forte. To me, it's the same to me. Okay.
Yeah, I like the interconnectedness of it. One of the things that I can say though about the books, which is again just like hip hop is always pushing brands, right? Like we've always been known to, you know, I'm gonna tell you what I got on my feed. I'm gonna tell you what, you know, the kind of shades I got on. When I tell you the books should be getting checks, like sponsorship checks, because the way that we incorporate that description and, you know, from head to toe, she had on this and she had on that. And I, you know, just writing these different characters, I find myself having to research the fashion more than anything else. Like, wait a minute, okay, it's 1995 and this thing. Now, I think I know what they was called. Like, and I ain't gonna front. Like, I didn't even know what a door knocker was. Like, and I'm hip hop to death. And I'm like, a door knocker. Like, all right, let me see what that. Like, I'm glad I didn't know. You know, like if I knew what a door knocker was, y'all would be concerned. But I was like, oh, that makes sense, a door knocker. Oh, that's dope. I didn't know what it was, but when you're writing, I want to say that we pay more homage to hip hop artists that way too in the books, because they get to say stuff like, you know, I wear Nikes on my feet just to be complete. Like we say the Nikes was white as snow. Look up his shoes, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to explain everything from head to toe. So by the time you finish reading that book, I'm almost for sure that people went out and bought these certain things, or they went on a trip to these certain islands that we was describing. Like, you know, I remember one rapper was talking about like Cabrini Green or something like that, and I was like, wait a minute, that was in Scarface. So that all of the artists, no matter if you're a writer or actor, we all pay homage to this fashion. And I did enjoy that, you know what I'm saying, writing. Because when I tell you, you got to research everything that everybody's wearing, because it can't be inauthentic, because the reader's going to call you out on that. Like I had one publisher, one writer come to me when I published a book, and he was talking about something like 1992, and he was like, yeah, I hopped in a whip, grabbed my cell phone, and I did this, and I was like, 1 second, one second. What year is this? What year? First of all, you wasn't hopping in nothing unless you was a drug dealer, because everybody was walking in the 90s, early 90s. You had to have serious money, and where, you know what I'm saying? So it's those things where it's like a small nick like that, but have somebody on your Amazon, like, it was cool, but this page right here, you didn't know what he was talking about. So I would say that contribution to hip hop, I would think, would be like the fashion.
Yeah, I know it's connected because the people that I used to stand in lines as a youth to go see in concert, I not only got a chance to meet them, but I met them through them writing their stories. We named a few: Styles P, Sister Soldier, like you said, we knew her before the books, and she was always been an activist, and she's done several book signings at the store. I had to say her first because I see the change that she made in a lot of young sisters and their walk. So big up to her. Nas, this is my biggest, when Nas walked into our bookstore, Black Nobel, I didn't even know he was in the store. I was running my mouth at the counter, talking to people, and one of my friends, Ali, that owns the barbershop, I noticed the store getting crowded, and he looked at me and leaned over and said, "Hi, you know there's Nas in the back?" And I looked back, and my son was helping him with the DVDs, the books. And I got up, and I was a real fan. I looked out the window. I seen they parked the truck on the sidewalk. Somebody was out there. And I'm looking, I'm like, I had to shake my head a few times, and there was a lady in front of him when he finally came to the front. And she was shopping, and I was like, "Excuse me, man." I said, "How you hear about this?" And he was like, "Everybody know about this spot. You know, y'all know all over the internet." And I just stopped everything I was doing, got my camera. Nobody else got a picture but me, because I was a real fan. And he came to the bookstore, and he was getting things with his name on it, like supporting it. You know, we had the book, The Supreme Team, and he used him in the back of the book. And he didn't even know the book was out. So it's one and the same, because the people that are the artists, you can tell the artists that read. You can hear it. It's like, man, did he just say Mansa Musa, the great Mali Empire, the richest man, and this? So you can hear the artists that actually read the books. And I'll end it with this. I know it was connected when I heard Jadakiss put one of the street novels in his poems. And he was like, "Knife game like Daddy Cool." And Daddy Cool was from Ghana Boys. I'm talking about 20-something years ago. So it's been connected. I just love the fact that we was able to talk about it today, because it brings back a lot of great memories.
I'm going to interrupt real quick, but thank you for that. That was dope. This young lady.
Please tell everybody who you are and how long you've been reading.
My name is Cynthia. I've been reading her books since day one, since 2002. From the first Eddie Thug, He's a Lady, and every. When I tell you, one of the books, Thug Lovin', I have never laughed so much in my life over that book. And I have read those books over and over and over and over. When I used to work, me and my co-workers, we used to swap books and stuff like that. So I have really been a fan of her since day one. It was nice meeting all of you today, but I really have to go. So, thank you for this. I learned a lot of stuff, and I'll see you next time. I did. I'm going to put it on your page too.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's a big one too. You want to come up?
Any questions from the audience? Would you like to say
My
something?
girl.
Day
Come
one
on,
right here.
come on down.
I just want to say I love you.
What's up with you?
I know some of them on a personal level, which would be Terrell. I know him, I know his mama, God bless her soul. And I never thought I would be here now. Mr. Wahida Clark used to go to the Bronx, to my husband and my son was vending out there.
Yeah.
Bronx Bookman. And we love her, my son loved her. And of course, Deshawn just did my 5th book cover on AI. So I had to come out for them. I remember you going with Shannon Holmes to put my book out there, Friends to the End.
Nice.
So this is 20 years and longer for Terrell, but 20 years amongst here. I'm very, very proud that we're together reunited again. Deshawn, I just love you. He just did my children's book.
Oh,
He did the cover. He was excellent. I'm talking about, I gave him a little run for his money because I didn't know the size. And he never gave me not one lick back. Everything was love, peace, humbleness. I'm selling it now. Like I said, Terrell, he did one of my first interviews. But little did I know that we went way, way back, because he was from Cyprus and I was from Patterson Projects. So we had history along the way. I knew a little couple of things that he didn't know I know. And I'm just super proud of all of them. I'm glad that I was welcomed on the team when I was. And it was because I knew Shannon Holmes since I was 14 years old. So when he came home from prison, he came to my house and I was like, oh, so what's up? You can write books? And he was making major money at that time. And he said, get a computer and write. And put me right under his wing. And Kawan is my cousin. And it's just, I can go down the list of our street vendors and everything. We went Pogo on 149th Street, for the road. Yes. So I'm super proud of them. These are great authors. We're going to continue to validate them and be proud of them and love them down because they need us and we need them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Speaking of Shannon Holmes,
Yes.
when I was in prison, they always say, how many you start writing? I had called home, asked my family to send me some money. They said, Wahida, you ain't got no more money. They foreclose on your house. They repossess your cars. We get ready to pack your kids up and go back up to Jersey. So after I got off the phone, my job was, I was a law librarian at the time. So I got off the phone, went up to my room, shut the door, cried, and then I prayed. What am I going to do, Lord? Because when I get out of here, I need, in the feds it costs money to live. You have to pay to wash your own clothes, buy your food. So I said, okay, what am I going to do? Because I ain't going to get out of here and get a job. I've always been an entrepreneur. So the very next day, or a couple of days later, I had picked up, I was in the library. I was in there by myself. I opened the door at 8 o'clock. Usually I'm in there by myself. So I picked up, I still don't remember if it was XXL, a Source or a Bond. It was one of those. And it had this picture of this bald-headed brother. And it said that his name was Shannon Holmes. And he was in prison, and he wrote a book called Be More Careful. I was like, wait, this dude is in prison and he wrote a book. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all the books on the bookshelves. Then I start visualizing my name on the spines, Wahida Clark. I said, I'm gonna write me a book, just like Shannon Holmes. And that's what made me start writing.
Nice.
Thank you so much. But they just flagged me in the back and said, hey, that's our time. We're ready for the book signing. So please give these guys a round of applause. Hakim, Terrell Blair, Deshawn, Wahida Clark, thank you so much. We're going to have to go, we have to move into our book signing section because we got other folks coming in here.
And thank you for the fantastic panelists and to the Hip Hop Museum. Thank you, Kyla, Buchanan, and Rocky. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Oh, thank you all, really.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting the students glean some,
We appreciate you guys.
great information. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate
All right,
the
y'all.
night.
Who wants to get a book?